Well, hi there, soccer fans, and welcome to another Onside with myself, James Goodman, and Budgie Byrne, Alex Byrne.
Yep.
Nice to have you with us again.
Yeah, pleasure, James. Nice to have you here for a change, yeah?
I'm the super sub, as they call him,
Arsenal won the cup, maybe, yeah?
Well, the Arsenal winning the cup seems to have vindicated Wenger, but not in my mind. As an Arsenal supporter, I think he should have gone. If he doesn't win us the league or the Champions League in the next 2 years, he'll go with his tail between his legs. The fans will have him for blood. They'll kill him.
Bad start next year and you're in trouble.
Yeah, we're in real trouble. Anyway, poor news, passing of the ex-Newcastle player.
Yeah, I checked Tiote, shame. Suspected heart attack.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. You go to China.
I don't know what he was eating, but nothing has been kept very hush-hush, but still you can't bring him back, which is tragic.
Yeah. Now, obviously, in South Africa, the big news is the promotion relegation fight. What's going on there, Bud?
Well, home and away, both teams. Baraka, who was second bottom in the PSL, played against Stellenbosch, and Black Leopards, who was second and third in the first division. You know, everything's in Baraka's hands. They won 2-1 yesterday. Local derby against Black Leopards. This Saturday they play Stellenbosch. To win that, almost guaranteed to remain in the PSL.
And they'd like to remain in the PSL, obviously.
Towards the end of the year, they started playing all right. They got good results against some good teams. And a young team, there'll be justice. I know it's hard for Sammy Trout at Stellenbosch, but I think Baraka will stay in the league.
They played well in the Cups last year, didn't they?
They were always competitive. Early on, they got 1 or 2 smacks, but towards the end, they were okay. Deserve another chance.
Interesting, the richest sportsman in the world. It's got to be a soccer player.
Well, what do you think, James? More people watch soccer than most games, especially over a 9-minute period.
Yeah.
But Ronaldo, good-looking boy.
And he's a player too.
No, top player.
That first goal he scored was a proper centre forward's goal. He seems to find himself in the right place at the right time so often. You've got to be with him.
He just irritates a lot of people with his antics, but I love him. I remember when he came to United 2004. You could see he was going to make it, but his desire and, I know the Messi people disagree, but no, 2 class acts, just great for the last 12 years.
They're different type of players, really, aren't they? This guy is a real poacher. He just will get.
Well, he's had to change his game. When he first came out, he was a winger, getting up and down, defending. Now he just hangs around the big box. He does get involved, but no, he's lethal.
And I see that Messi's about 10 million behind him.
Yeah, and he's 61 million. Don't know why he was trying to avoid the tax, but no, they deserve everything they do. They've given enjoyment over the years to millions of people, so good luck to them.
Top British sportsman?
Yeah, Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
No wonder he's got all the women chasing him. Was it £36 million he earned?
Well, he deserves it. He's a good guy, We've got World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, European
Let's have a look at what we got there. Right, World Cup qualifiers.
Azerbaijan. Now, ironically, the most famous sportsman in Azerbaijan history is a linesman. And when you see your mate Terry Payne, he was the guy that gave England's 3rd goal in the World Cup in 1966. They said he was Russian, but he's born in Azerbaijan. They've named the national stadium after him. There's a statue of him. But they've got a fancy Northern Ireland, big game. But it won't be easy in Azerbaijan,
Well, but it must be damn cold there now.
Well, you never know. It's Samoa, Russia, that neck of the woods.
Scotland, England. We move on. That's the next game.
Yeah, I fancy England. Looking at the Scotland squad, they're struggling for players. They've got players like Snodgrass from West Ham, guys from West Brom, Darren Fletcher being one of them. If England are on their game, if Harry Kane gets 2 or 3 chances, I think the 7-10 is a good bet, James, England.
They would look like the bet.
They've got a good team. They just lack a real creative midfield player. If they had a David Silva or a De Bruyne, they could naturalise them. England would be a threat because they've got all the other players.
Rooney, would he not play for them?
No, he's out.
He's out. He's finished now.
But he's not playing for the club, so how can you get a game for England?
Yeah, but he's still, I think he's a great workhorse, and I think he's a great controller of the game.
Yeah, I just think his time's up. He's done everything. It's just the next generation.
We all get there.
Yep.
Lithuania, Slovakia.
Yeah, Slovakia got some good players. Hamzik from Napoli. Of the 2 teams, I like them, but you can't trust those teams.
Yeah.
It's a big game because England are 4 points clear of Slovakia and Slovenia. So the winner obviously is automatic, the team that comes seconds in the playoffs, so they can't afford to drop points here. But Lithuania, they score goals, so it won't be easy. But of the 2 teams, you've got to fancy Slovakia.
Not a draw game.
Well, it could be. You know, there's a few, I think, good things this weekend, but that's one of the games where I've gone against the grain or against the betting odds anyway.
These must be good things. Poland to beat Romania.
Yeah, best bet of the weekend for me. Good team. And Malik's back, the other centre forward who, when Juventus bought Higuain for 80-odd million, they took the Pogba money. They went and bought Malik, but he done a crucial. So he's back, and I think they'll be too good for Romania.
Montenegro, Armenia.
Yeah, this is my lurker of the weekend. Now, the guy who captains Armenia is a guy from Man United, Henrik Mkhitaryan.
Okay.
Yeah, they've come right. They've won the last two with him being playing. Montenegro are second in the group. But I think Armenia can get something out of it. You know, they're all dicing for second place. But
So what do you go, win, draw?
Win, draw. Well, I win all three, but
Yeah.
I've had a bet win, draw in the Armenia because the odds are quite favourable.
Absolutely. All right, then we move on to the second page. Norway plays the Czech Republic. That will be a cracking game.
Yeah, I
won't
like the Czech Republic of the two teams, but I've been for them before and they've let me down. So Norway haven't got the same type of players they've had in the past, but that's a close game, which the betting obviously suggests. But Czech Republic and a draw for me.
Ireland, Austria.
Yeah, a big
Another
game
one.
for Ireland. They get a result, they're guaranteed, if not first place, a runners-up spot. Austria have got some good players, but they just keep conceding goals. And Ireland at home, 14-10, James, that's a good price.
Very good price. Then we go Iceland, Croatia. And Iceland have caused a few problems
Yeah,
for some
it's
sides.
and all the Suns, their team, but Croatia are a top team. You know, Modric and the guy that scored the brilliant goal on against Real Madrid on Saturday, Mandzukic, they got top players.
Mandzukic.
They were unlucky in the Euros. They got,
Just talking about that incident with Sergio Ramos in the box where Mandzukic went down with another player going for the ball, and Sergio Ramos walked up and pushed him and gave him a proper push, and the ref did nothing, and then further down the line on the touchline, he gave him a yellow card.
he's a nasty piece of work, that Ramos, but he'll get his own. Someone will catch him. There's no doubt about that. He'll catch it.
Yeah. Okay, Israel, Albania.
I like Israel. They've got a lot of good young players coming through. Unfortunately, they're in the worst group there is. They're with Italy and Spain. But 12-10, they're in my bets. I like them this week.
Okay, we'll be with them. Serbia, Wales.
Yeah, a big game for Wales. You know, they're 4 points behind Ireland and Serbia in the league. And if they don't get a result here, they're gone. I think they can. They've got good players, Wales.
Yeah.
You know, Bale should be fresh. Obviously, he hasn't played for Real Madrid. But Serbia have got, won't be easy in Serbia. But I think Wales can get a result.
Okay. Tell us about these World Cup qualifiers. How do they work out?
Well,
how
what
does it
happens
actually
is
work?
there's 9 groups of 9 groups of 5. The top 9 are automatic. Now, the 8 best qualifiers go into a playoff, and they draw it, and they play home and away. So and that's the 17 European teams plus the host nation, Russia. So you don't win the group. There's still everything to play for to run second.
To run second, because the top 2 obviously get the chance, That's what it's like. And England didn't make it last time, did they?
Oh, England. Let's talk about England, They win all the qualifying games, but come the crunch, they don't do it. They got to Brazil, but they didn't win a game in Brazil.
Yeah. AFCON qualifiers, how does that
It
work?
starts this week. There's 12 groups of 4. The top, obviously, the group winners, the 12 of them are automatic. And then the 4 best runners-up. So AFCON games, I think it's in Cameroon or one of those places, 2019. So 16 teams, and that's it. So can't afford too many mistakes.
So, well, it's the 12 winners and the 4 runners.
4 best runners-up,
runners-up. So, in fact, 8 of the best, as the worst runners-up go. So
Well,
you
if
don't
you don't-
want to be a runner-up,
No,
like
as-
South Africa has been.
Well, South Africa are unbeaten in 17, but a big game for them this week, That's
Okay,
what
well,
you'll
let's
see.
go into the games. Go and have a look at what we've got. We start with Zambia, Mozambique. I think that's the first game
That's
up
the
there.
first game, Zambia, a good team at home, James. Of the 2 teams, I like them. But the pitches that they play on in Africa, they're not carpets anymore. They're bumpy pitches, so the draw is always a player. But of the 2 teams, I like Zambia.
Cameroon, Morocco, that's got to be a big game.
Yeah, a big game. Well, Cameroon won the AFCON in 2017. They had like 7 or 8 players pulled out. And they still won it. But Morocco, these North African teams, they got players. Don't be surprised if this is a draw. And Cameroon at home, well, they're always hard to beat. I can see a draw in this game, James.
Yeah, I can see by their record there's a lot of draws in the games between them. Guinea-Bissau and
I've got a fancy.
Namibia.
And they got to the AFCON 27. They didn't get through the group stage, but they're slowly coming right as a nation. Namibia, you never know. Poor country, well, football-wise anyway. And of the 2 teams, you've got to fancy Guinea-Bissau.
Can you get on them? Will there be a...
Well, the betting should come out on, I think it's Friday, James. There was no betting yesterday when we checked.
Okay.
But, I'll be on them, put it that way.
Nigeria, South Africa looks like a big game for us.
Well, a big game for us. You know, we're unbeaten in 17. Stuart Baxter's first game. You know, Nigeria at home, but you never know what you're going to get from Nigeria.
Yeah.
You know, that's the biggest problem. You know, whether their players, you know, the guy, Ian Hitchu at Man City, he's up front. You've got your Iwobi from Arsenal. They've got Ahmed Musa from Leicester. They're stacked. But at home, they don't tend to perform. And I think we've got a chance there. Won't be easy, obviously, but fine, unbeaten in 17, you know. So
I don't think we can beat Nigeria at home. I think that they've got the better of us.
we
anyway,
should have beat them the last time we played them there.
Thank goodness we got the phone call. Someone, Stuart Baxter, probably
Stuart
phoned.
Baxter, yep.
What are you guys on about?
Win and draw, yeah.
Cape Verde, Uganda.
Yeah, well, Uganda don't give many goals away. They were disappointed in the AFCON. Now, Cape Verde is a team South Africa play in the next World Cup qualifier in August. They play on a blue pitch. It's AstroTurf.
Yeah.
But they've gone backwards, Cape Verde, of late. So Uganda in a draw for me.
Okay, Congo, Democratic Republic,
team,
and
Congo
Brazzaville,
DR,
the two
yeah.
Congo teams.
Yeah,
Good,
Congo
good.
DR for me, good team. They'll be in the World Cup. They've got Balassi up front from Everton. I know he's down. Maga Bakumbu. They've got good players, especially going forward. I think they'll be too good for Congo Brazzaville. Yeah.
Okay, and Burkina Faso, Angola.
Yeah, they were superb to watch in the last AFCON. They ran third.
Burkina
Beaten a
Faso.
players shootout by Egypt. I fancy them to beat Angola.
Ivory Coast, Guinea.
Yeah,
That's where we
you know.
finish off.
Yeah, well, Ivory Coast a good team, but you just don't know how that Czech Tiote situation's gonna. They'll obviously have a minute's silence, and there'll be a lot of mourning for him. And sometimes it has an effect on the team. Obviously, the better team, but I get worried about those type of games, James. You know, I've seen it when Man United played Everton. One of the Everton legends died, and they played at Goodison. They just never turned up, the players. The occasion was too big for them.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just get worried about them. You know, people say, "Oh, you got to play for your teammate," which is fine, but sometimes the mourning is ingrained and it's difficult. Yeah.
Too hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a lot of soccer betting over the weekend, and some big carryovers, which we'll talk about. Let's go start with Soccer 6. The Swedish League we're going to start with, okay? We're going to start with the
Well,
Swedish
we've got the
League?
Swedish League. Yeah, it was the three leagues that we're going to consistently run, James, are the Swedish, the American, and the Brazilian.
Okay.
You know, Gaze Gothenburg, you know, in good form. You know, they should beat at Wittenberg, who are struggling. I've gone Vernamo, win and draw over Osters. Now, Helsingborg, Bromma-Pochkana. Bromma-Pochkana is the biggest club in the world, 247 teams. Now, they top. Helsingborg got relegated. I like Helsingborg 11-10. And the last game, Dalkurd, should be too good for Årgård. Yeah?
So that's our Swedish betting. There's right, Soccer 6 we're going to now. That's
Okay.
what we've been looking for.
Yeah, this is the international one. The AFCON one. I've gone Zambia, win and draw against Mozambique. I've gone the field with Cameroon, looking for the upset. Guinea-Bissau, win and draw against Namibia. You know, showing a bit of patronage. I've thrown the 1-2-3 Nigeria, South Africa. And I think Burkina Faso will be too good for Angola. And I think the Democratic Republic will be too good for Congo Brazzaville.
That's a very nice perm. That gives you a very good chance. And if you get a little result or two.
You know, you have to look for the draws because first game up and the seasons have all finished. Now, the European soccer sits, you know, while I like Northern Ireland, I've thrown the draw and you never know with these Northern Irish type teams. I've got 1, 2, 3 there. Likewise, Kazakhstan and Denmark. While I like Denmark, you know, I've got 3 bankers, so I'm looking for another upset there. I think England will be too good for Scotland. Slovenia should murder Malta. I've thrown the field in Norway and the Czech Republic, and Poland I think will be too good for Romania.
Okay, Soccer 10 we move on to. Right, we move on to the first.
Well, the Soccer 10, I've gone the field, Azerbaijan, Northern Ireland, likewise Kazakhstan and Denmark. I've banked England to beat Scotland. I've gone Slovenia to beat Malta. I've gone the field with Lithuania and Slovakia. Now, you can go light. You could have gone 2 and 3, but I've thrown looking for an upset. Likewise, Montenegro, Armenia. That's the field job. I've gone the Czech Republic, win and draw against Norway. And I've gone Poland to beat Romania. I've gone Chicago Fire, going well in the American MLS, and Sporting Kansas. Those both look good things, yeah.
So that's
324, yeah.
That's the Soccer 10. We move on to the Soccer 13. Now, there's a big carryover in the Soccer 13. What, 3.9 million?
Yep, they estimate around about 22 million. That's what the estimated pool size is. But, worth an interest.
Amazing. Now, is that a commingled pool?
That's the Swedish one. They run it. It's 1 rand 60 a line now.
Yeah.
So.
And so you've got to take...
well, you've got to go for some of the
Yeah.
teams, James. You
Yeah.
know, I worked it out, and you put Fields in a couple of them, it just gets into four figures, and
Yeah.
before you know it, it's, you know, you just turn the page over.
Yeah.
But we've got our perm size, so we obviously
We
have a
work on
dip.
it.
So I've gone Banker England to beat Scotland. I've gone win and draw Northern Ireland over Azerbaijan. Likewise, the Czech Republic over Norway, and Denmark over Kazakhstan. I've bankered Poland to beat Romania. I've bankered Degerfors, who aren't bad at home, but Gefle have lost their last 7 games. They were rated the worst team there, so I've taken a chance there. Now I've gone for Falkenberg. I don't know how they're betting. They're 15-10. They're in my bets. The only assumption I can make is they play on a grass pitch, whereas RK Fridge play in you call it a AstroTurf type pitch.
Yeah.
So they were 15-10. I couldn't believe. The last couple of games, they've beat the team that was first and third, and they drew the team that was second.
So is it only because of the home
It was
ground
that's the
advantage?
only thing it could be with a pitch, because
Yeah.
on form it's day and night between the two. But that doesn't scare me. So I'm going for Falkensberg as a banker.
Right.
And the next page, I've gone Syrianska win and draw over Norby. I've gone Farberg's got good home form over Trelleborg 1 and 2. I've bankered Aramis Syrianska over Sollentuna. I've gone Husqvarna win and draw over Quevedding. I've bankered Skavda, who've come well, got promoted last year, but they're in good form over Oderveld. And I've gone win and draw at Sigtons versus Landskrona, $204.
Okay, well, that seems to give you a pretty good chance for the Soccer 13 with the big carryover. And we're going to move on to Budgie, your best bets. And these are brought to you by Track and Ball.
Track
the
and
story
Ball,
is
yeah.
of Track and Ball.
Well,
Put
they
in 1,000.
sponsored our bets. Yeah, they
and
sponsored our bets every week since
Yeah.
the jump. So,
Yeah.
you know, quite rightly, we've got shirts now, so we'll
Good for them.
advertise for them. Yeah. I've split the international into Saturday and Sunday. So I've gone the Saturday one, England to beat Scotland. I've gone Poland to beat Romania by more than 1 goal. And I've gone win and draw the Czech Republic and Armenia, 2-3-5 to 200. Yeah. Second bet is on Sunday. I've gone Israel to beat Albania. I've gone Wales to get a win or draw. And I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Macedonia and Spain game. Sorry, that's Israel and Croatia to win. Sorry. Yeah. And well, so that worked out just over 12-1.
Okay, then we go to the 3.5 goal treble.
I looked at the over 2.5 goals, James. I'm betting like 3, 4 to 10 on some of them, but like 14, 15 to 10 on over 3.5. So I thought, you know, for value, instead of putting 5, 3, 4 to 10 shots together.
Yeah.
So, you know, I fancy Spain. They were on last night against Colombia. They drew 2-2. It's got some good players. So I've gone over 3.5 goals game in the Macedonia-Spain. I think Spain will score 4 at least themselves. Likewise, Slovenia-Malta.
Yeah.
Now, Malta caused a pick 6, soccer 10 carryover in the week. They beat the Ukraine away. But I think Slovenia will have too much. I mean, likewise, Kosovo struggling, and Turkey, a lot of good young players. So I took 12-1, James. You can't get hurt on that treble, you know.
Lovely treble.
The Swedish Superettan, which we caught last week. You know, I've gone Degerfors to beat Gefle. Likewise, Falkenberg to beat RK Fridge. And I've gone over 2.5 goals between Norby and Syrianska and Varberg and Trelleborg. You know, 3,200.
Well, you're on a roll with that one. That's
Yeah.
where you want to be. But the Americans is the thing
Well,
that
the
worries
Americans, there's
me.
only 3 games this week is because the Americans are in their World Cup qualifying round. So there's only 3 games. I've gone Chicago Fire. You know, I think they'll cruise in. They're playing Atlanta at home. Likewise, Sporting Kansas to win by more than 1 goal against Montreal. And I've gone under 2.5 goals. Portland against Dallas. Now, Dallas, second best defensive team in the league away from home. They park the bus like Mourinho normally does. And the odds were quite good. So 1,500 to 200 in that treble. And the Brazilian Serie A quartet, you know, the Brazilians are the main league at the moment now. So I've gone 4 teams. Cruzeiro at home against Atletico Goianiense. I've gone Botafogo to beat Coritiba. Ponte Preta to beat the team that was involved in the air crash. Chapecoense and Gremio, who might fancy to win the league, to beat Bahia by more than 1 goal. So it worked out 11.5 to 1.
It will take them a long time to recover from
Well,
that air
ironically,
crash, you know.
they were top of the league before. There were games last night and the games tonight. They've got a lot of lone players and they've done great, you know.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah, you know,
really
the
hard,
emotional
isn't it,
run
you know?
dry
Yeah.
at one stage, but as long as they stay in the league, I think that's their main aim.
It's transfer window time. What's the story of the transfer? Is there anything going on?
Well,
at
after
the
the
moment?
World Cup qualifiers, I think the action will start. You know, we've heard United in for several players. Real Madrid want De Gea, United Morato, Liverpool I see pulled out of the Van Dijk.
Will United let De Gea go?
Why should we?
I would think he's the best goalkeeper that you could have. Looking at world goalkeepers, I thought he was the best.
There's Manuel
in the world.
Neuer who's above him. The rest are much of a much. I like Courtois, but you know, he's
Not
one of
in
the top
the
three
Cas
goalkeepers. You know, why get rid of him? You know, the biggest club in the world, why get rid of him? No, we don't. You can't sell your best assets.
Jose never. He doesn't look to accumulate cash. He wants to keep
He's gone
the best
missing, I
players,
see.
but-
You know, he's given the the list of what he wants, but there's a lot of people, even the Italian clubs now. You know, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Chinese owners trying to make an impression, buying big. You know,
So it could be fireworks.
there's going to be fireworks.
Just tell the uninitiated how the transfer actually works. When you're talking about this fee, say £30 million for a player, what actually happens to
Well,
that
I'll
money?
give you when Sterling went from Liverpool to Man City. You know, I couldn't understand why Liverpool wanted 49 million for him. Now, Liverpool wanted to buy Christian Benteke. Now, his buyout clause was 32 million.
Yes.
So when they got the 49 million, I thought, no, it's impossible. Why would you pay that for him? But the following day, the Daily Mail in England had the breakdown. The first 20 million, the 20% of that deal went to his previous club. Now, he was at Queen's Park Rangers.
Okay.
So they got 20%, so they got 9.8 million.
Okay.
Then there were so many add-ons, if they win the league and if they win this and if they win that. Liverpool only got 32 million for him by the time everything was, the dust was
Totaled
set.
up.
So that's why they wanted that amount to go and buy Christian Benteke. So that's how it works. The clubs have a sell-on fee.
Yeah.
You know, so if you've got a youngster like Stones was at Barnsley, I think Everton bought him for 5 million, but the sell-on fee was 20%. He went to Man City for 49 million. Barnsley got 9.8 million of it. So that's why a lot of these figures are inflated, and then they'll pay it over 4 years anyway. It's not like the money, it's an EFT.
Yeah.
It gets staggered over 4 payments, so the clubs don't really get all the money up front. So it's...
And they're talking about 175 million if you get into the Premier League.
Well, how that worked was 95 million for the team that comes last in the Premiership next season.
Yeah.
So say the team that come up got 95 million. They're for finishing last. Now you've got parachute payments. I think they give you 3 £25 million parachute payments to make sure you keep all your staff and your players and so on. So that's why it's the richest game in the world.
And that's all from TV, right?
That's all TV. Without TV, I think in Spain, Barcelona and Real Madrid get 23 million each, and the other teams get $1 million from the TV.
That's amazing.
Well, that's why a previous show we did about Atletico Madrid, the players that they've sold. You know, David De Gea was one of them. Toby Alderweireld was the other. Then you had Fernando Torres, Sergio Aguero, Diego Costa, and Radamel Falcao. Now that's just 6 players off the, and those are all world-class players.
Absolutely.
And then they've got Anton Griezmann, he's the next one going.
Yeah.
You know, so they're a selling club, unfortunately, and that's why the English league is the best league to watch, because it's more competitive.
Baji, it's always an absolute pleasure having your expert knowledge, and I think we're going to get the money this weekend.
let's
Looks
hope
like
so,
a good
James.
weekend to get the cash.
Bit of a roll, let's hope it continues, yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Baji Byrne, the resident expert here on Onside, and what a show today. You'll be able to get all the bets on with Track and Ball. Fantastic betting. Don't miss the weekend sport.